all right. It's Desert Experiment. Your host, Mario Eduardo Espinosa, aka MEE, aka Me. So, this week's show should be a good one. Hope you enjoy it. It's a lengthy interview with Jose Renteria, a local musician, songwriter, and well, let's get to it.
Like the sun will rise and shine again. We're on the run for arms that will and can. And spring will bring something new. Believe, I promise something good. Sound of rings and dings a tune. I know you shake me to the day past midnight, the moment we were born. I sing, for summer is the view, but spring, the words were all of you. Sing this song for you. It's late, but not afraid. What comes and goes, I know it's fate. Tomorrow's faith will surely shine your pretty face and bring a prayer for something soon. These words I sing are sitting on a midnight moon. Sitting on a midnight moon. Sitting on a midnight moon.
All right. We're here live right here with Mr. Jose Renteria, and he's the guy we just listened to right now. He's the guy playing the guitar and singing the songs. Jose, thank you for coming down to the studio and laying it down for us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Seriously,
I
really appreciate it.
It's been quite a conversation we've been having.
Yeah, we have. It's interesting.
Off the record. But now we're on. Man. Now we're on.
It's fun, man. I like being here.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. You already recorded 2 songs for the show, so we're gonna put the songs during the pod.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming down.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's been a lot of fun since I met you, and it feels like I've met you years ago, and then we were just kind of catching up or something.
Yeah, something like that, right? That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right on, man. Right on.
It's cool.
So I have questions about your talent. How long have you been playing guitar?
19 and a half years, actually.
19 and a half years.
Yeah, I started early 99. I was freshman in high school, and although my first interest was drums and then keyboards, or actually keyboards and then drums, I would always tap my fingers to songs with it. You know, the songs that I was listening to was Led Zeppelin, Pumpkins, Nirvana. And
I don't like any of those bands. I'm kidding.
And then it progressed, and then I said, I guess I'll get a guitar. And in the meantime, and then the drums were about $300 used
right?
At the swamp meet. And so
It doesn't the guitar just look a lot cooler on you?
I guess so. It eventually became
It's
what
like
it
you
became.
don't have to drag the drums around.
Yeah.
Hey, try looking cool in front of a keyboard. It's an art.
Yeah. Well, Madonna and Wayne Gacy from Marilyn Manson. He looks pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Marilyn Manson?
Yeah. Madonna, Wayne Gacy.
Trent Reznor. He's one of those guys
Yeah,
too. He's
right.
on the keyboard. He's just like killing it. I'm sure there's the guys in the 70s that we're not giving props to right now. Like,
Yeah, there was the guy from The Doors.
oh, Ray Manzarek.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ray Manzarek.
There's plenty of guys on the keys.
That guy looked awesome when he was playing the keys, right? He looked
Yeah.
like he was like
Style.
Ray Manzarek looked like he was like looking for the answers of humanity as he was playing the keyboards. You know, like, oh,
I don't doubt it.
They're all here, man. They're all here. I'm playing it for you. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I can.
Hey, without a doubt.
Light my fire.
Yeah.
I love the Doors, man.
Of course, you gotta love them. Experimental band and good stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
When did you start writing songs?
2001. I remember very clearly. I was about to be a senior in high school, and I just wanted to write fresh stuff that was sort of like the outtakes or the demos of the Pumpkins. If you listen to the acoustic music from the Pumpkins, there's a lot of it. There really is a lot.
You know, I'm a big Pumpkins fan.
Yeah.
If you know me personally, you know this is true.
Okay.
Like that like Dancing in the Moonlight and those sessions, they did those in England.
Yeah.
When they were on tour.
Yeah.
And
during the Melancholy era.
Well, no, during the Siamese Dream era.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So when they went over there and they did all this acoustic stuff, they never did an unplugged, which is kind of weird, right? Even being the band they were.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how, and they did like a bunch of the Siamese Dream stuff. And one of the songs that came out of those sessions was the Dancing in the Moonlight, which is,
Lizzie.
Yeah, it's on the Disarm single. It's a B-side on it.
Oh, crap. So they actually did a recording of it.
Well, it's just part of those sessions, and those sessions have like, they do like Cheryl Brock and like all rock and a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah,
that they were playing at the time, and that's part of the sessions that.
Wow.
And they put it on their B-side.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I love that track, that Dancing in the Moonlight. We were playing a little while ago.
Yeah, just a little while ago, just kind of an impromptu.
Yeah,
kind
you
of
started playing.
thing.
I was like, hey, I know that song.
Yeah, I love it.
That was fun.
Yeah, I've done that. I actually played that song on the Humble Farmer Brewery just a few days ago. Was it Thursday?
Right on.
And somebody recognized it, and they tipped me because I think of the song.
That's a Thin Lizzy song.
Yeah, I love that song. It sounds different than the original.
You were playing the original. I was like, hey, that was funny because you were playing the original first.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started singing it, and then you started playing the Pumpkins version. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I love the Pumpkins. They're like one of my favorite bands. I was like,
yeah,
touche.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Hey, we're I know your brother, and well, sort of. And he was a semi-Pumpkins fan because of Jimmy Chamberlain, the drummer.
Yeah, my brother's a big Chamberlain guy, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so it's funny how when I was in high school...
This is Calesa lingo right here.
Yeah,
this is like
Calexico all the way.
Yeah, like...
I haven't lived in Calexico for a long time, but I remember the high school years, of course.
Yeah, like if if you're a part of that scene, like my brother, and like, oh yeah, that Chamberlain, his thing.
I got to say though, there was very few Pumpkins fans during the high school years. Everybody was saying, oh, why aren't you more into blah 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 or Limp Bizkit or this or Korn? And I like those bands, but the thing is that they became really really big, and it was like if you were into metal. If you're into rock and progressive whatever, it meant that you were into System of a Down, Korn, and Limp Bizkit. And then eventually...
And that happens in every generation, right? Like, it's a certain kind of thing.
Certain bands that it really hit.
Well, it kind of makes sense because, like, you're, like, a generation after, and you got a whiff of it because it was just part of the environment you were in.
Yeah, but I remember...
and to be like, I don't know, just to think about it, like my brother's a Pumpkins fan because like he's my brother. He's like 8 years younger than I am, and like he got a whiff of it like during the same when I was into it. He's like, oh well, that's my brother's. Yeah. Or like it's not even my brother's music. It's just the music that's around.
Yeah.
And I can imagine just like him just being like, hey, I like this music. You should all listen to it. Yeah.
There weren't that many that were really into anything else besides what was being played on MTV.
And I know the like all these guys that were like hanging out with like my brother, like it was like Shamu and like Daniel Corrales, and, like, all these guys, you know, and all these guys like are like doing their thing, you know, which is like interesting to like kind of like see now. It's nice to see. It's good to see. It's awesome.
It's funny that they all branched out and it went beyond the Blink-182, and I have nothing against those bands. I'm not trashing any of them.
Because, hey, what's my age again?
Yeah, it was Blink-182, Korn, Limp Bizkit, and like Kitty and like a few other bands that were really
those
that hit
bands
big
from that era.
And POD and Papa Roach, whatever.
Oh man!
And then
music really took a shit there.
You don't really hear from these bands anymore. I mean, I'm sure they're sort of obscured, whatever.
I can just imagine like a bunch of tomatoes like running my way because I said that. But like, you know, like I remember like there was a period where people would come up to me and like around that time. Yeah. And they would mention all these bands, and I guess it was from a certain era because I grew up in like in the '80s, so like grew up with like all this metal.
Yeah,
I came up with like the '90s stuff with like the Pumpkins and Nirvana,
you know, Pearl Jam, and Alice in Chains.
Yeah, like, and you know, I saw some of these bands live too as a kid, you know, so like it really shook my head, you know. So like when I came across like this whole different like generation that was coming up listening to like this music you're mentioning, I was like, no, I don't like this, and like now in retrospect, I'm like, it's okay, but like I'm still like not buying a record. I'm still like not sitting there. I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna listen to that song, you know. Like I still don't do that. Like, sorry guys.
Yeah, but I mean, it's sort of to answer your question back to what you asked earlier about, you know, playing music and playing guitar, and
it's funky, you know. Like I can just imagine like somebody that's not fucking getting laid, like jumping crazy with it, you know. But like it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it was a trend for a long time.
You know, music's like that. You know? Music's like that, and it should be like that. It's always fun, you know.
Yeah, but it sort of takes the fun out of it because
you know, my opinion is just it ain't worth shit. It's just like from where I'm coming from. So like that's that's what I'm saying though. Like I'm sure people had fun when it was happening, and I'm sure it's fun now. Like to whatever, you know.
Some of these bands that came out around that time, around late 90s, 98, 99, 2000, were good, but they were sort of obscured with, and they were kind of lumped in with like the rest of the bands that weren't that great. Well, and so they said, oh, you're just like so-and-so, you know?
I mean, I listen to Korn, and I mean, there's a lot of the, you know, metal, Metallica stuff, you know, but that whole like, you know, like this movement in the music, you know, like, it's kind of groovy, you know, like it's kind of funky, you know, you know, just thinking about it, it's like, it's, you know, I wasn't into it. I'm not into it now, but I can see why it's good. You know, like, you want to jump around and like listen to that stuff and be like, I'm like getting down to this.
Yeah.
I get that.
Let me tell you a quick story.
I mean, I get Chuck Berry too, man. I love my boy. You know?
Let me tell you something. In 1998, I became a huge Pumpkins fan with the album Adore from the Pumpkins. Ava Adore.
You know,
the song.
I'm 42. You're 34. Yeah, I get that. Like a lot of people that I've had conversations with about that era. That's like in your age bracket. They're all Adore people.
Oh, really? Oh, crap!
It's interesting. Like 32, 34, 33.
Yeah,
they're all about Adore.
Wow, interesting.
And it's it totally makes sense.
I was 14 when that album came out.
It totally makes sense. Like it totally makes sense. Like mine was Gish.
Oh, 1991.
Yeah, so like you know, and then like everybody was like into Nirvana. Yeah. And that was cool too. I fucking love Nirvana too. But I was like listening.
Nevermind that came out that same year.
Yeah. So, but
same producer too. Butch Vig.
Yeah, exactly. It was like some intertwining history in there, like as far as producing that record there. But I was a Pumpkins fan because like I went to my buddy's house, my buddy Pills from Calesia, and I went to his house. I think to borrow "Smells Like Teen Spirit" single.
You were gonna put it on tape or something?
Yeah, he had the single on CD, so I was gonna do one of those.
Yeah,
to put it on tape, right? I'll put it on a cassette, and he's like, "Wait, I got something for you."
Oh,
and
man.
he busted out Gish on CD, and yeah, he I can remember like seeing the thing, and he put it on, and I Am One started playing, and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Yeah. And the guitar started playing, and the guy started singing, and it was heavy. Yeah. The drums were just like killing,
man, Jimmy Chamberlain, I'm telling you.
Rolls were just killing, and the guitars were like loud. The bass was loud.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, the guy starts singing. Yeah. It's kind of metal. It's kind of hard. It's heavy.
Yeah.
And the guy is singing, and then I go, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but this is what I've been waiting for all my fucking life.
Yeah.
That's what I experienced with Gish. And your era, Adore.
Adore 1998. Somehow I became a fan. I think I heard the song on the radio, and I wanted to record it on tape. And I was recording with like other songs that were sort of hip around that time in 1998 summer. I was going to be a freshman in high school, and I became a huge fan of the Pumpkins. And what I was remembering is, I thought, man, I really hope that this band is not a new band, whoever the hell the Smashing Pumpkins are.
To this day,
of course they weren't.
Till now, like I can't believe like the whole fucking planet's into it.
Yeah.
Because like to me, it was like this, like listening to Minor Threat or something. Like nobody like cared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I guess everybody did care for at that period, you know. But like to me, like it was just like anything else. You know what I mean? Like it was sacred, you know. So like, you know, if you liked it, you know, even the conversation you're having now was like, wow, you like that?
Yeah.
Because like I love that. Like I don't know anybody that loves it.
Melancholy, 1995 when that album came out. Everybody was into it, of course. Zero into 1999 and 1979, and all these other songs that were radio friendly songs, and they were everywhere, and they won a lot of awards. But 1998 came around, Adore came out, and it was a commercial failure, if I'm not mistaken. The only songs that hit were Ava Adore and Perfect.
You know what I loved about that record
was
the drums, how they were just like bumping out of the speakers.
Yeah, it was techie. It was techie, and it was no Jimmy Chamberlain. It was just techie, drum machine kind of.
Right, but I love drum machines. I love the drums sounding like that on the speakers.
Yeah, and I've been playing that.
It's like that hip hop. You know,
that's right.
Disco formula, you know.
For the past month and a half,
bass drum is the ruler, man.
I've been playing Ava Adore, Pug, Apples and Oranges, and
see, like those tracks. Those tracks have that you know that drum machine in there, that bass drum. Yeah. So like, I love all that stuff. You know, it's just like listening to like New Order or like
Depeche Mode,
like OMD and stuff like that. You know, I like 808s. I'm an 808 guy. I don't own one, but I have an app that does that shit, and I love the fucking sound of it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's
you know, man, we're talking
interesting.
We're talking too much about
music,
other shit. How about we talk about you?
Yeah, well, hey, I was born in January.
There we go. I'm what's your sign, man? I'm single.
Yeah,
all that good stuff. I'm a baritone voice. What's up?
I'm a Capricorn.
There you go.
No,
what's up, ladies?
No, it's let me see here. Well, kind of getting back to your question from earlier. I've been playing music for 19 and a half years. I've picked up the guitar in early '99.
Drums and keyboards in the process.
Yeah, I started with keyboards because because I would always tap my fingers, and I thought, well, maybe I need a piano. But really, what I was hoping for to get it was a drum or a set of drums.
Right.
But they were too expensive, and you know, my former stepdad was I figured he's not gonna pay out, you know, $350, $400 for a used drum set.
Did you ask?
I did. No. Actually, no, I didn't. But the guitar was about $15, and I said, I think this is fair.
You know,
And he said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead and get it." I was
You
like,
should have asked for
really?
the drums, man. You should have asked for the drums.
$350 for a used drum set? Nah.
He might have said yes.
I doubt it.
Dude, you never know. You know how dads are, man. You never know.
He was a stepdad.
Still, man, you never know.
There's that where you're gonna get a no more than likely. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you asked for the guitar.
Yeah, it's $15 a guitar.
You brought down the expectation.
Yeah. So I started playing, and what I really started playing was pumpkin songs.
I did the same thing.
That's it.
I did the same thing when I got my first guitar.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, can I? No, I'm gonna have to get the one that's cheaper.
Yeah.
So like when I said the cheaper one, like my mom was happy. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you did the same thing.
Yeah, you have to go with whatever the parents are going to say. Oh, okay, you can have it.
You know,
so
you tested the waters. You know what's up.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Good time.
kept with it, and then I bought another guitar. Then I bought another guitar senior year in high school. But by senior year in high school, I started writing music, 2001, and I wrote in about 3 or 4 or 5 months. I wrote about 7 or 8 songs, and I
Isn't that's I think that's interesting how that happens when you start writing how many songs have you written by now?
by now over 50.
Yeah.
I mean, easily over 50, and recorded in studio with Danny and other people about 30 plus, and it's been exciting because once you listen to the greatest, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin,
Who?
The Who, Pink Floyd, and the Pumpkins, and Pantera, and all these great musicians, you kind of have a frame of reference as to what a song should be like, the structure of a song.
Right.
And so being in my room by myself with an acoustic guitar and having all the time in the world, you kind of start thinking about all kinds of things, especially when you're a senior or a junior in high school.
In Calexico.
Yeah, in Calexico, when you're wondering about your dreams and your aspirations.
What the fuck is going to happen?
Yeah, what's going to happen in the future?
Like, all of a sudden, you're like, wait, all I know is these fucking, like, these black tops that go from point A to point B, and, all the fucking mountains that I can see from the outside.
Believe me.
And then what the fuck is next?
Yeah, that's exactly the way I thought it. I figured, okay, I'm a senior in high school. I'm writing these songs, and these songs are sort of about this and that, and really what I was trying to say is there's songs about hope and future and things to come, but they sort of progressed. A year later, I wrote another 8 songs. And then in less than a year later, I wrote another 10 songs. And after that, I didn't really write a whole lot. I probably wrote another 6 or 7 or 8 songs, and maybe less. And then I kind of took a break. But I never really stopped writing. But it's always been exciting to write music. Especially now, like we were talking earlier, sort of right off the record about I wrote 4 songs recently in less than a month. Right. And I haven't done that in a long, long time. In fact, I think I broke my record in terms of writing music because I wrote 4 songs in less than 30 days.
So what is that? Because it's always something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's we were talking earlier about the whole, it's a lot of transitions. 2018, and I've said this before to certain friends, and 2018 has been a really, really good year, without a doubt. And I can say that with confidence because the past years have been they've been miserable. 5 to 6 years have been really, really tough. And I wasn't really writing a whole lot of music for obvious reasons. I was miserable, and I wasn't really getting any kind of inspiration from anything or any drive or any excitement. So the past month, roughly, in the month of May, roughly, I wrote 4 songs just like they were meant to be. So it's exciting to write new music and perform them live and perform them here and record them and everything else. And I've been very excited about it.
And you've been performing like in the region. You were telling me you've been performing in Brawley, right?
Yeah, Patty's at the Rock. And then I played Inferno. Last time I played it was probably about a year and a half ago, but it's been a while. But Patty's at the Rock, and I played at Humble Farmer Brewery in Imperial, and in Hopeville, both locations, and great beer and great people, and spoke to Eric, and he said, hey, you should come and play here, and we want to have an acoustic night, and I said, yeah, sure.
That's cool, man. That's cool that that
opportunity.
That people are. It's cool that people are taking a chance on something that they see is good.
Definitely.
I mean, being in the region that we're at, it's always kind of hard to find an opportunity to just even like showcase your music.
Even coming here, I mean, I really appreciate it. I mean, it's.
Cool.
I mean,
this thing is just
fun, man. It really
is.
It's just
it's a little grain of the vehicle that this place has. You know what I mean? Kind of lost my train of thought. My bad. It's just like started thinking about my dog.
No, I understand. Look, listen. 2018 and late 2017, I should say, I reached out to people, to different owners of these businesses where I've performed live, and I said, hey, would you be interested in having an acoustic night and with soft songs? And everybody always sort of gets a kind of look on their face and say, well, do you play this? Do you play that? Can you play this? Can you play that? And I said, well, I don't know any of those songs, but I can perform these certain songs live. They're good songs, but you may not even know these songs, but they're good songs, whether they're covers or they're original songs. And they say, yeah, sure, okay, let's do it, and so I think certain people get a certain look on their face when they hear songs that they don't really recognize. Whether maybe they're expecting something like I was mentioning this earlier with like Stairway to Heaven or Hotel California. It's like I don't even know those songs.
Right. So like what kind of songs would you do?
It's mostly obscured songs that nobody really knows, but they're really nice songs. They're like lovey songs.
Well, like I don't know, like can you mention like
a
title?
I do some covers.
I mean, you don't have to because like it might be like some top secret stuff. Like
no, not at all. No. I don't really mind talking about it. It's a lot of I do some Pumpkins covers, but I don't do the typical songs that people would know.
Right.
And then but it's not because I'm trying to be rebellious or anything. It's just more like
your taste.
Yeah, it's just I'm trying to bring something forward that nobody really knows. But then, and also Iron and Wine, like I mentioned earlier, Sam Beam is a really great songwriter, and he's written some it's amazing music that blows me away. It's really closely related to the stuff that I would write in terms of lyrically and musically and everything else. So
what's up with that? Like
songs.
When you find, like we were talking about the Pumpkins earlier, because that's kind of like what I came across, like finding an artist where you go, oh shit, that's who I am. That's how I feel. Yeah. That's
definitely,
that kind of thing. Like, is that what that is?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I remember when I first listened to the Pumpkins, I said, man, this is something else. I mean, I was hooked from the get-go.
I find it's interesting how the records got recorded.
Yeah.
That all that stuff got like put together.
Yeah.
And it kind of put my feet on the ground, like thinking to myself, oh shit, like there's some pure stuff in music that happens when the cosmos and everything happens, and
Definitely.
then it happens, you know what I mean, with great music. But sometimes you kind of have to sit there and like hammer it out and just like try to take the opportunity and make a good piece of music or art, and trying to like capture the moment in time,
Yeah.
So like you're taking like this opportunity, I've heard like the story of how like that first record got together for the Pumpkins and like
Gish,
so like those kind of things happening even now, you know what I mean? Like even now, like like this, we're gonna play your fucking music, you know, and that's pretty cool. Like I like your music. Like honestly, dude, you sent me your music, and I went, okay, the recording, it's not that good.
Greatest,
you know what I mean? But this shit is good. And you know how long it took me to realize that it was good? I think I must have heard maybe like 5 seconds of it.
Oh man!
And then I went like, oh
so
shit, this is good, but the recording sucks. And then everything after that was like, okay, the songs are good. So like it's just a matter of like getting this person into a place where it'll sound better. And that's all it is.
I realized that it was like great.
And nowadays we have all this technology. We can just sit in our fucking restrooms and fucking hammer it out.
Well, perfect segue to get into what I was going to say next was I recorded with Danny. Danny Corrales. And you, of course, you know him well.
Danny Corrales, yeah.
Yeah.
Our boy, Danny Corrales in Calesia, what's up?
Yeah, man. How's it going, man?
I met his bro, Diego.
Yeah, Diego, of course. He's a drummer.
From Dream Haze.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw their band like a week ago, and they fucking blew my fucking mind, dude. And he, like, I was like sitting, we were like just hanging out in the back, I guess, backstage.
Yeah.
And
it's backstage. Yeah.
I was just there. I don't know how I ended up there. And he's like, he pointed at me. He's like, "You're in Espinosa." I'm like, "I am."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he's just like, "Dude." And I went, "Dude, your drumming is the shit. Like, what the fuck?"
He's a good drummer.
He is an awesome drummer.
Yeah.
And I asked him, like, "Where the fuck did you get your style? Tell me, where's your fucking teacher at?"
Yeah.
And he busts out with an answer like, "Oh, I learned from like watching your brother." And I'm like,
"Oh man, it comes around. It's
dude,
full circle, man."
It is, dude. And I was like, "Wow, that's fucking awesome." And yeah, my bro's like one of these fucking people you just watch and just like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
But
it's funny.
The cool thing about that is like, from what I've experienced, like rock stars, they'll fucking tell you what the fuck is up. They'll fucking tell you. And it's like mid-level rock stars, they'll be like, So like, I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to what you were saying.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with Danny is I recorded with Danny starting in May of last year. I think it was early May or something. And
does he have a name for his studio?
Yeah, he has a Better Noise Records.
So
his music is under Better Noise Records, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
So you can look for it.
But the way we're going to distribute the music is, again, I could be wrong about this. I may not have all the details, but the music is. I told him from the very beginning. I said, "Okay, Danny, look, I don't have a whole lot of money. I want to record these songs. It's probably about 6 songs, which ended up being about more like 5 songs. In fact, come to think of it, it's more like 7 songs, and I had to whittle it down to 5 songs." And I said, "Can we do these songs?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, we'll just put it under Better Noise Records." I said, "Okay. What does that mean exactly?" He said, "Well, it's going to be distributed a certain way, and then if you gain fans along the way, and people download your music, a certain portion of it goes to Spotify or whatever download server or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And then eventually goes to him, and then eventually goes to me. And so I get a very small percentage of the music. And I'm not really honestly, I'm not really looking for money at all.
In a way, that's paying for your studio time?
Sort of. But again, I don't think I'm not a full-time musician, and secondly, I'm not putting drums, and it's not like a full band, so it's not like I hope it didn't really pain Danny to put the songs together and
well, I think if
produce them and mix them and master them.
I mean, if Danny's putting that time into your music,
yeah,
he must. I mean, see something there, so that's probably why
he likes them. He told me himself. He's like, "Oh, these are really good songs," and I mean, I'm always flattered when anybody says that they're good
your songs are fucking
just
good, dude.
I'm just a guy and literally almost naked in the kitchen writing these songs.
Put on your clothes, dude.
I'm not even kidding about that. I mean, I'm in the kitchen writing these songs in my freaking little shorts and my underwear, and I'm strumming away, and I'm trying to come up with something good,
Sexy.
I'm not even kidding. The reason I do that is because it's hot. And I have the fan on, and I'm trying to come up with something good. So
That
a lot of
happens,
these songs were just written just like that,
Y'all free balling, man.
Hey, why
You're
not?
free balling, like feeling the spirit of the thing, man.
Pretty much.
Because I'm free. Free balling.
Yeah, who sings that song again?
Some guy named Tom Petty.
Oh, that's right there.
I mean, he didn't say free balling,
I was
but
going
he
to say
said something.
Dave Matthews. That's
He
right.
said something along the lines.
Yeah, but anyway, so a lot of these songs, came from nothing, and so to re-recording with Danny, and when I got with Danny last May, he's like, "Oh man, I know what I'm doing now. I've done Pro Tools, and he's gotten a lot better. He's a lot wiser with the whole music producing.
He's been doing that for years.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the last time I recorded with Danny was 2004, 2005,
Wow.
and it was about 8 songs. And this time around, I did about 5. And I sort of had to X out about 1 or 2 songs. And I said, they were just, well, now, I think I told you this earlier. The songs that I recorded with Danny recently, as of May of 2017 to present day when I finished recording in mid-January of this year, is that these songs are not even relevant to today. So it's sort of hard to,
and that happens, right?
Sort of promote them in a certain way, because some of these songs go back 12 and a half years, and I don't even want to play those songs anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The songs that I'm playing now, Parallel and 6 Degrees and May and the latest song that I wrote, Midnight Moon, those are all more relevant to today, what's happening today, what I'm experiencing now. They're a lot more exciting. I think they're just better songs,
And that's good, because that's what happens with the songwriting process.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and if it's weird, because just thinking about it now, I had never given this thought, but just thinking about it now, it's kind of like the songwriting process in a way. That's part of that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you do write the song at a period where you're inspired, or you kind of had time to sit down and fucking write a fucking song.
Exactly.
And then you put it together, and then oh, you're excited, like you said.
Yeah.
And then then you just play it because you love what you did.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just go through the motions, and you're done with it.
Yeah.
And then this new experience happens. This is you now.
Yeah.
And now you're writing this, and this is what you want to
Definitely.
express, and now you have this.
Yeah.
So I never thought about it as the songwriting process.
Yeah.
Because in a way, that's kind of where it dies.
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, okay, I did 5 songs with Danny that I recorded, without a doubt, 5 songs. And only about 2 of those I can actually play today live, if I were to actually choose them to play them live, because they're still sort of relevant. The rest of the songs are the only reason I recorded them in the studio was because they sound good, but they're just too old. They're 12 and a half years old, and I said, oh man,
I just started thinking about people that have been
anymore.
playing their songs for 30,
Yeah.
40 years.
I can sympathize with Rolling Stones and the Beatles trying to play Hey Jude, and Kiss playing, Detroit Rock City or something.
I saw Paul McCartney do Hey Jude, and I was like, damn, that was tear jerker. I was like, damn, it was watching them play it back in the 60s. It was
I understand now. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
I don't know how they do that.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm 34 years old.
Well, I don't know. I never wrote Hey Jude.
Yeah, I can't play a song that I wrote. I can't play a song with the same enthusiasm that I wrote when I was 20, when I was 19, when I was 21. I just can't do it, and I can understand now if Pete Townsend from The Who doesn't want to play a song that they wrote back in the 70s or the 80s or whatever the hell, whenever they wrote it.
I've heard so many artists kind of your whatever, a flock of seagulls kind of thing. They don't want to play their hit.
I get it. I totally get it, man.
I see that.
Yeah.
But you wrote that fucking song.
Yeah.
And you fucking change lives and the human experience because you fucking wrote that song. And I think, just thinking about it, if you don't want to fucking play that song,
it's up to you, man.
It's something to do with you because, you don't want to cause joy. Because, honestly, if you anything after that is just ego.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Musicians, first of all, are rebels to begin with. We kind of go against our own word a lot of the times.
I think musicians are full of shit.
Yeah, that too. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, again, I'm 34 years old. I don't want to play a song I'm saying this. I'm trying to pat myself in my back, but I've been writing music for a while, and I don't have a following or anything like that. I don't have any fans or anything, but I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of these greats, like Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. I mean, does he really want to play a song Dazed and Confused? Does he really want to play the song Whole Lot of Love that he doesn't feel anymore? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think they do like some other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of hits.
Yeah, but like
or Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Every time they get together, they do like stuff that they did, and it's like, wow.
Oh, of course.
That shit was cool.
They have a lot of great music.
Like I remember like some stuff they did back in like the early '90s. Like it was like Robert Plant and Jimmy Page when they got back together.
Yeah,
they had this fucking really awesome drummer. Like it was kind of like a unplugged kind of thing they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And they had the guy from The Cure on the band.
Oh,
that was some lineup, man.
Yeah.
But that was like that era. That was like that period. And that was and they did some Zeppelin songs.
Yeah.
But it was like this kind of like new perspective on it. Anyways, back to what you're saying.
No. Like I'm not trying to put myself in like compare myself. I mean, these are fucking amazing musicians. I mean, right. Robert Plant and Robert Smith from The Cure and Billy Corgan from the Pumpkins and all these great. Like, all I'm trying to say is that I can understand now, as you're writing music throughout your, when you're in your early 20s into your 30s into your 40s into your 50s, do you really want to perform those songs live with the same emotion,
I don't
same
think
drive?
you do.
You don't.
I don't think you do.
You can't.
Yeah, it's like being a baseball rookie or any like major sport. Like
you're not going to catch the same energy. You just can't.
Come on, you listen to Dylan's first like couple of records and he's like he's just like laying it down,
Yeah.
You read Tarantula, it's just like this puke of speed,
Yeah.
But it's just like all these like rambling fucking like rhyme schemes and like like painting pictures with words.
I'll tell you this. I once heard, kind of going with what we're saying here. Keith Richards. No, it wasn't Keith Richards. I'm sorry. Mick Jagger said something along the lines of, he made a joke of it. I think on Saturday Night Live or something. He was performing live and he said, one thing that I've learned about being a musician after so many decades of being a musician is nobody wants to hear your new stuff. Your new music. They always want to go back to, play something from the 70s, play something from the 60s, play from the 80s.
That's funny.
You know what I mean?
I just heard the new Smashing Pumpkin song.
Solara?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, dude. Like I heard it on the headphones. I was like, oh shit.
Hey, they're performing tonight at, or I'm sure they already recorded it.
Yeah,
Jimmy Fallon.
They're in L.A.
Yeah. Or New York.
Oh, you're
New
right.
York.
That's New York shit.
Yeah. But so that's what Mick Jagger said. He said nobody really wants to listen to your new songs. They don't know how great the new songs are. They always want to revert back to Painted Black. Well, whatever songs they have, whether it's Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Pumpkins, Pearl Jam, Nirvana. They always want to listen to the classics. I understand that.
I think those bands are on that platform.
Yeah,
they're in that like kind of like like in that bracket.
Yeah.
Because there's fucking a shitload of fucking music.
Oh, of course.
Like out there, like now, right here.
Yeah.
Like at this, like you're part of it, I'm part of it. There's a bunch of fucking other musicians that are not fucking part of that fucking world,
Yeah.
That, obviously everybody strives to get into that fucking like world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
of course.
Shit, man, there's a bunch of fucking music out here. Like in that fucking platform, you get there because you're fucking the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But shit, man, I went out the other day and I fucking saw Dream Haze and I was like, shit.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like I saw bands, the fucking young cats fucking laying it
really
down.
good.
I saw a band from fucking Baton Rouge. I was like, these three cats, fucking laying it fucking down. And I was like, wow, man.
There's some really good music out there, no doubt about
dude,
it.
Like, and don't get me
wrong,
man.
Underground, though,
Dude, it's the street always becomes the fucking mainstream, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like, you fucking listen to all these fucking music, the Guns N' Roses, you listen to fucking Metallica, all these fucking bands are fucking street at one fucking point. It's like hip hop nowadays. You know, all that fucking shit is like that, you know?
Yeah.
And this happens, and the same thing about rock music, except the thing about rock music is that it's kind of like, from what I can tell, it's kind of like put on the sidelines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't bump on the speakers like hip hop, man. Don't get me wrong, man.
Yeah, not so much.
That fucking drum needs to fucking get on point to fucking move the fucking hip and move the fucking shoe to fucking, you know, move the soul, because that's the way it is, man. I fucking hear some fucking rock music with some fucking like drums and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
And I hear some fucking drums and I'm like, good luck with that shit, you know?
Yeah, I gotta say, look, a lot of the best rock music.
I mean,
out there,
I listen to
metal,
some fucking blues and it's just got like a fucking snare and a fucking one thing, and it's like, it's got a fucking groove. You know what I mean?
Of course. No, I gotta say, man, seriously,
God, I'm so
a
full
lot,
of shit.
a lot of the music nowadays that's coming out. Some of the best music is coming out from bands that have been around for a while. I mean, I'm a big fan of Tool, big fan of Philip Anselmo, the lead singer from Pantera. Anything he puts out is really, really good. There's some country out there that I'm really into, sort of edgy country, rock. But I got to say, because I was, I'm a scene full of shit here. I'm so kind of disappointed by a lot of the stuff that's coming out. I don't really listen to the radio.
I do. I'm a big radio guy.
Oh, okay. Look.
But
I listen to
you know,
I listen to talk radio.
Don't get me
That's
wrong.
good
Like
stuff.
I'm a big radio guy. You know,
Okay. Of course.
But you know, don't get me wrong. Like the stuff that's on the radio, like you know, to me it's
some
like
of it is okay. You know,
melody is melody.
yeah, of course.
You know, you got your auto tune, and that's just the way of the future.
Yeah,
You know,
I get
for
it.
all we know, the fucking, you know, the aliens and the spaceships are like, it's about fucking time you guys fucking got that auto tune on the fucking deck, because we've been waiting for your fucking. We begin getting tired of fucking singing your natural
It
singing.
started
voice.
with Cher in 1998 with "Do You Believe in Love After Love?"
Yeah, but you know, and it's that kind of thing. You know, the progression of technology and somebody just coming across it and like playing around with it and just making something out of it. And don't get me wrong, man, it's what it is. And like now you see these cats like fucking doing it without it.
yeah.
And what's up with that? You know, that's fucking talent.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Look,
It
man,
is. You fucking try doing that shit. You know, I can barely fucking like keep my shit on key.
I can't
you know?
deny it, man. There's a lot of really, really good musicians out there, but I don't think they're in the spotlight, quote unquote.
And don't get me wrong, man.
They're not
like,
out there.
You know, everybody has their avenue. Everybody has like their niche. Everybody has like the thing that they're gonna fucking use to get their point across.
Yeah, of course.
And at the end of it, and that's kind of what it is, right? Like your sense of being as a person, your sense of like, you know, your experience, like trying to project it on whatever is happening, you know?
Yeah.
So like we're like fucking, we're humans. We have tools, so we kind of just, you know, kind of like put all this energy now on these other tools because now
for our benefit.
Yeah, we're not fucking outside, being hunter gatherers.
Yeah.
Now we got a bunch of buttons and stuff like that, and we're putting all our energy on that.
Yeah.
So like, hey man, the energy's got to go somewhere. So like, auto tuner man, come right in.
Yeah. It's I saw this post my brother sent me. Carlos, he put something like NWA.
Oh.
It was without autotune.
Ah.
Which is really right. I mean,
It's funny.
The gangster rap from back in the day was pretty intense.
And
pretty
don't
good,
get me wrong, man.
Seriously.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're gonna like do it, like be a master of your craft, you know, like do it and do it right, you know, like you know, like from like, okay, I play guitar. I like rock music, you know, so like my, you know, natural kind of like intuition was to kind of like research the where it came from, and I ended up with the blues and like with jazz, you know what I mean?
Yeah, jazz and blues. That's where
so
it
like,
started.
you know, hopefully, you know, that'll happen nowadays. Like, yeah, you know, you got all this fucking gear, and like you can push buttons. Like, hey, where did this shit come from? Like, and you might end up with fucking Kraftwerk if you're fucking lucky, you know. Yeah. And hopefully that might happen, you know.
Yeah.
And even, you know, I'm sure there's fucking people, you know, before Kraftwerk that I don't fucking like can't remember right now. So there you go.
I mean, you really have to go back to sort of the I remember Sting and his team said something like that, trying to get the songs to the lowest common denominator of, if you can play the song on an acoustic guitar or on a piano,
right,
and you can play the entire song with rhythm and melody and everything else, you got it made. And
it's just a primal thing too, right?
yeah, you really have to. So why do you think I play acoustic guitar? I mean, I remember when I was in high school, some people would say, "Hey, why don't you play electric?" I was like, because I don't. I don't know. I don't play electric guitar. I mean, I can play heavy metal, I can play rock music, but I didn't want to.
Somebody came up to you and be like, "Boy, you need an electric guitar."
Yeah,
you know, one of them boxes with electricity, because I can't hear you from over there. I'm over there by the side of the cotton field. I can't hear you.
If you're not distorted, you're not good. No. I mean, I was playing guitar. Man. I was playing guitar in high school, and I said I really like the sound of the acoustic guitar, and I stuck with it. But what I'm trying to say is that the emotion, the heaviness of a song could come from piano, from acoustic guitar, right, just as well as the loudest guitar that you can think of, and you can be as loud as whoever. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's really the emotion behind it.
Right. You know? I used to have this like nylon string guitar my grandpa gave me.
Yeah.
Like, and he told me
That's
like
good.
It was one of his first guitars that he had, and it kind of reminded me of like a grand piano.
Yeah.
Because like the strings just sounded heavy. It wasn't like, it wasn't distorted. It was fucking going through an amp.
Acoustic guitar. Yeah.
You know, it was just like this chunky sound. You know.
Yeah.
And I remember like the only thing that I came across later was a grand piano. Like you know, some notes after the middle C. It was just like, you know.
Yeah.
It was just really interesting how those tones resonate with our emotions.
Yeah.
You know, like we kind of like we listen to, like, that's the thing about like kind of like the auto-tuner in pop music, like,
yeah,
you know, it's kind of algorithmed out to the point where it's just gonna hurt. I mean, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit a certain emotion where you know it's gonna just trigger it. You know, and you might not even know where it's coming from, because it's just like it's presenting itself to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of, we're living in a very interesting period in time with music, because you know, from you're an acoustic guy. You know, you're saying like, well, you know, you're coming from this like kind of like, you know, philosophy of being a musician.
Yeah.
And like not only that, you have like people like big platform guys like Bob Dylan. You know, like that were acoustic guys.
That's
and like also went electric.
Neil Young.
Yeah, fuck yeah, Neil Young.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden they fucking like they like Dylan went electric.
Yeah.
You know, and started making a bigger noise. And people were like, "Oh, we don't like that." Well, it's not even about like, it's not about like your taste. It's about the artist just kind of like playing with what's there.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and then like progressing with what their mind, you know, is allowing them to do, because like that's kind of what we do, right? Like we just have like we have like these like tools, and we have this like interpretation of what we can manipulate melody into, and then like kind of like projecting into a song that reflects the human emotion, you know, from all levels. Yeah. And you know, hopefully,
I agree.
And hopefully like you can share it. Yeah. You know, because like I mean like from what I experienced, like you can write it, you know. Yeah. It's fucking cool. But when you share it, it's just like, it's like anything else. It's like you are having, this is like the conversation we're having now. Like it's like, it's not in front of the you know, the artificial intelligence, you know, it's just human interaction. Yeah. One-on-one. And it's the same thing with like going to a gig and like listening to somebody play guitar in the room. Yeah. Or like somebody just like wailing out on the fucking drums because, you know, whatever, you know. Yeah. Music is awesome.
No, I you know what, acoustic music, what I found is I don't get the same response all the time that I play, because I mean you sort of feed off the crowd, as I've said before, and I've explained to certain friends.
Acoustic music is always like kind of a challenge, right? To perform.
Sort of, because not everybody's going to be into it. They're going to be expecting a band with accompaniment of drums and trumpets and other guitars,
like,
you know?
The sound might be hit and miss, and like somebody might miss the point because you're kind of like...
Yeah.
Man,
I
like,
mean, I'm 100% acoustic. I don't have anybody else playing with me. I don't have background vocals. I don't have
dude,
background anything.
I've always been like
You know?
in bands, and like, you know, it's got to be like a loud thing. And I've
Yeah.
performed with backing tracks before, and I've had like really like mixed kind of like reactions. Like,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had, you know, times people are like in the front, like just getting
Yeah.
whatever nuts, and then like I've had you know, a situation where people just walk the fuck out. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a kind of like a, I kind of take it like a kind of like a Yoko Ono philosophy. You know, like, you know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like if half the room didn't walk out, then I didn't make a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, you know, like you can't always win.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Oh,
it's
that's
like it's
true.
like you can't always like not everybody's gonna get it. You know.
Believe me, man.
Yeah.
I've been told many
And it's
times.
weird because it's always like that. It's still that spectrum. Like you got acoustic music,
Yeah.
hit and miss. It might be like this backing track with like some electronic stuff, hit and miss.
Yeah.
It might just be a fucking band, you know, and
Yeah.
hit and miss, you know.
Now, I've been told many times, hey, why don't you play Hotel California, or why don't you play Stairway to Heaven, or why don't you play something that we know? And I
Somebody
say,
asked me
"Wow,
once to
I don't
play.
know."
Somebody once asked me to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So top that.
Oh man,
And I did. You know,
think
I
was-
did because it was a grandma and the grandson, and the grandson was like, "What's up?" And grandma was like, "Come on, you can play it." And I was like, "Yeah." I got the guitar and I, you know, picked up the notes, and you know, I made these people I made their night, and
Yeah.
they went and
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
barbecue ribs, and I was like, cool, you know, and that's what music is, you know, and I kind of come from that, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like mariachi background, you know, like
that's
it's
good.
about like convivir, kind of getting together.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's more of a tradition more than anything, you know. What do you tell me?
All right, check this out. So these songs, you know, like I was talking about earlier with Danny, recording these songs with 5 songs that I recorded with him. I don't think I want to play them live. I think there's about 3 songs that I don't want to play live. The rest of them, the other 2 are okay. I can do them. But these songs that I've been writing the past month, I wrote about 4 songs. They're really, really good. Well, at least I think they're good. I don't know. I mean, it's really up to you if you listen to them and if you like them. If other people say, "Hey, they're really cool," then I appreciate it. But and they're it's exciting. Like we were talking about earlier, sort of off the record. You know, we were talking about 2018 and how crappy it's been the past 2 years, and how hopefully things will change for the better for all of us. And luckily for me, I can really definitely say that, man. I mean, it's been a big change and a big turnaround.
You know,
I gotta say, seriously.
I think one of the points that I kind of missed, like before, was that we, like as individuals, like we have music, like we go
Yeah,
through,
of
like
course.
as individuals, we can go through some shit and like just pick up the guitar
Yeah.
and go, I got the blues, you know what I mean? And like just and like, you know, after that, you're like,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be all right, you know. You kind of like, you know what I mean?
Something
like
about
we
it, yeah.
have that kind of therapeutical kind of thing with music, you know.
Yeah,
And, you know,
I agree.
And unfortunately, not everybody has that, you know.
No, I think something about man. If you play guitar, if you play music, if you play piano, you have what is it? Self-medicate to
Yeah,
music.
the
You know,
music.
you can express yourself
music-
lyrically with songs.
I mean,
and
music
if you
does
write
all
your own
these.
songs.
Music does all these like all these things to your body as it is. You know, like it brings
Yeah.
all this air in.
Without a doubt.
You know, it holds
Yeah.
it in, and like
Yeah.
you know, you take it out, and then you bring it back in. Like it does all these like really cool things to your body. So like like singing, you know, music.
Oh man,
It's a great.
I agree.
It's a great therapist.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, man. I remember looking back at some of these songs that I wrote. I mean, I was just by myself in my place in the kitchen, on the table with my acoustic guitar, and just strumming away. And I was like, okay, I have ideas, and I'll play whatever comes up. And in terms of what the songs are about, they're sort of like, okay, it's sort of about change and about all kinds of things. We were talking about it earlier about all kinds of different things that have happened in the past few years, and in misery, how it leads into eventually happiness, and you kind of get out of this bullshit situation that you're in. And it's very, very exciting. And so obviously when you're excited, when you're looking forward to something, you write something positive, right?
Well, it's like that. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, you're right. It's like that positive thing, inspiration, and like in a way, it's like the muse might just be the hope, or the future of whatever it is.
And you know what? Now that you mention it, I mean, even playing these songs here, and I played them live at Humble Farmer Brewery in Hopeville just a few days ago. Mm-hmm. It felt really, really good. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. Playing these songs live and playing them to an audience of 4 or 5 or 6, whatever people were there, was really helpful, because at least I can express something that I've had in my mind for for the past 2, 3, 4 months. Pretty positive stuff.
That's awesome. What would you advise to any like person that would like think about like, hey, I kind of think I want to write music or write some songs? Like, what would you say to like a young cat like that?
Somebody who wants to write music?
Yeah, like just write songs. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's all about it's all internal. It's whatever comes out. Obviously, there's a sort of poetry involved. There's rhymes and riddles and whatever you want to write. There has to be sort of a rhyming scheme to music. But just write whatever. I mean, you have to sit down and I'll give you something that's happened to me recently.
Man, I've heard some like Leonard Cohen lyrics. That shit doesn't rhyme at all.
Well, it doesn't always have to rhime.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. I'm at work, right? I get there early.
I guess it's just the way you say it, right? It's like a joke.
That's true. Yeah. So what I do, it's like I'm at work, and in fact the majority of these lyrics, the 4 songs that I wrote recently in less than a month, came from me at work with a notepad as I'm doing my job, and I'm just writing down words that are just sort of nonsensical, sort of. I mean, they mean something, of course, but I mean, and then eventually I say, oh crap, I got to write that down. And then eventually it becomes songs.
I remember like hearing Bob Dylan say like, oh, like just write this shit like anywhere.
Yeah,
write them anywhere, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, then anywhere could just be anywhere. Like I can be in the backyard. I can be like,
seriously,
in the like that's the thing about that, right?
Yeah. So anybody who wants to write music,
and even with technology, like, you can fucking sit anywhere and just put your little stuff together and just go pop, 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 and start making some music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. 808. Man.
So what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of people out there that want to write music, and whether it's rap or hip hop or R&B or rock or whatever, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I support anybody who wants to write music. I mean, they're trying to express something. It's all fun and it's a bit of a challenge. But what I'm trying to say is that just whenever the time hits you to write those lyrics, just bring them out. I mean, that's why when I'm at work, strangely enough, it comes in the morning. It's like I guess I get a lot of ideas, like this flood of things comes to my mind in the morning. So therefore, I have a pen and luckily I have a pen and pad ready for me to write stuff down. And then eventually that translates into a song that I write a day or two later.
I once saw this documentary on Bob Marley, and it was one of his guys just saying how he would just get up early in the morning.
Yeah, that's the best time, I think.
Like light his fucking spliff.
Yeah.
He'd be like, excuse me while I light my spliff.
Yeah.
Lord knows I gotta take a lift. And he'd be like, I want to write a song.
Yeah.
And that's what you would get.
Yeah, I get it.
And I think that's a great time to write songs
because your mind is fresh.
It's fresh, dude.
I mean, for me it is. I mean, it's.
I'm not like that. I'm like, I have to wait till like 3 a.m. and like.
Oh, 3 a.m. Holy crap!
I'm one of those guys. Like I have some really bad habits.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And don't get me wrong.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I'll get some really good stuff done like in the morning, but like that has everything to do with like like making a living. But as far as like being creative, I'm more of a night owl, I think.
Wow. Okay.
So, what you said reminded me about Marley, because he was one of those guys that would get up in the morning and be like, I'm going to write my music because that's just how I do my stuff.
Yeah, I think it's fresh. I think it's something about the daytime and the sun coming up, and I can sort of
maybe I should take up on your habit over there and start writing music in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even writing music. It's just like writing lyrics that I literally, this is what I did recently. I'm not even kidding. For one of the songs that I wrote recently, it's called May. I wrote it, I don't know, like a week ago. I wrote down things that I'd written down on my work notepad, where I write a bunch of notes of stuff that I do. And I wrote all those down on a separate sheet of paper, and I brought that home. And about a day or two later, on a Saturday morning, I'm sitting there in my kitchen by myself. Everything's nice and quiet, and I look back at my notepad as to what I wrote a day or two or three before, and I'm thinking back as, I wonder if this could rhyme with this, or this could go with this, and eventually it became a song, and it became the song May that I wrote a week ago or so, a little over a week ago, and it really just comes from thoughts that I've had throughout the different mornings throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday.
That's the thing about like writing lyrics, right? It's like this kind of like, we'll see what happens. You know?
They just come,
Yeah,
and they do mean something, and whether it's somebody says, oh, it's a bunch of bullshit lyrics, but they're not. And
that kind of relates to even like making a beat. You know what I mean? Because you might just like, hey, I'm going to go outside and get a, like whatever. And like, you'd be like, oh, your thought process starts going. And like, I'm going to go back and like do that thing because this fresh thing came into my head. Yeah. And we'll see what happens,
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with like writing a song with a guitar. You know? Like, it's funny how like, I'm kind of just like perceiving these things like as like, oh wow, that's how that works, Yeah. It's a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's so nowadays, actually, what's interesting about what is it? The latest song that I wrote was Midnight Moon, and I played it earlier.
We're gonna play that one today.
Yeah. Oh, good. That song.
We'll be playing that one.
Cool. I like that song a lot. And it's I mean, look, I don't want to pat myself in the back here and blow my own horn or whatever they say.
It's a good song, man.
Oh, thanks so much. It's that song. I think it came from lyrics, not whatever lyrics that I'd written at work, and then I brought them home. Like a day or two later, I wrote the entire song, and but I remember I was walking around at work, and I'm like, the way the song goes. I was like, oh crap, I think I got something there, and I had to look at my phone, and it has a recorder app on it, and I recorded it so I wouldn't forget, and then I wrote the rest of the song, like the next day or whatever, and then I guess what I'm trying to say is that it really comes from. You think it comes from nothing, and then but it's really you're feeling something when you're writing the song, and you have to sort of record the initial ideas that you have, and I've explained this to friends before about like, you have to. I remember James Saylor. You know James Saylor, right?
Never heard of it.
It's James Saylor, the acoustic guitarist, a folk guitarist. He said one time, sometimes. The inspiration hits you, and then you have to capture it in whatever way possible. You have to record the initial song, tune, chords, whatever the hell, and then the lyrics, and then come back to it later and add on to it, and then eventually layer the song. Right. And then it becomes a song.
Everything that you were saying right now kind of reminded me of like when I how I used to like record songs before like the phone. Okay. I used to have a 4-track.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
I would just write like, just like record these demos, ended up being songs,
Yeah, yeah.
But like the fact that
That's
I had,
good.
I mean, yeah, like, well, before that was I had a karaoke machine. Before that was a tape recorder.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Same here.
So like like
Just a regular tape
now we
recorder.
have like all this like really cool stuff that like
Yeah.
it just helps the process.
Yeah,
So I think it's interesting how we're living in that time.
yeah. It's
Back
so
to what you were
easy now
saying.
to upload everything, and
It is.
Yeah, that's how
But-
you were able to hear my music.
Yeah, and it's kind of a good thing, It's kind of a good thing. It's also a bad thing, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's also a bad thing because like, you never know. You might just fall on deaf ears. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I remember
that's true.
I heard
Yeah.
Pete Seeger.
Yeah.
He once said like, "Hey man, like you can write all you want, but you might be lucky if one person listens to your song."
Yeah, that's true.
And like that's just the way it is. Like
Yeah.
you can write. It's awesome to write a song. You know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
is.
It's
It really
awesome
is.
to write a
It's
song,
fun.
but it's also a real joy to share it with people.
Yeah.
It's just
When
like
people get it is really when.
well,
when,
it's like when
you know.
you make some bomb ass dish. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
of
Like you're
course.
like, damn, fuck, this shit's gonna kill.
Yeah.
I can't wait till people taste this shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, how's my shit? And you'll be like, oh man, your shit's good.
Yeah.
And like, it's the same thing. It's just like
Yeah,
it's
of
the same
course.
process.
You want people to be satisfied or enjoy something that you made, of course.
Yeah.
I get it.
And it's just weird though how we do that. I think it's not weird. It makes total sense. Like you
Yeah.
go through some fucking pain. You're like you want to fucking express yourself,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what happens. And the thing about being a musician, you have that tool to be like,
Yeah.
this is how you present it.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, unfortunately, not everybody has that thing. But I think we all have like some sort of like artistic avenue.
Yeah.
It's just like a
Yeah.
matter of like finding like that little speck in the cosmos that kind of like sends us to that place,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's just a matter of like letting it be,
Yeah.
Sir,
No, I totally agree, man. I mean,
sir,
Yeah.
we've
We've exceeded the time here.
exceeded.
Oh man. Hey,
But
yeah, I've enjoyed my time here, man.
Dude, it's been a
I
good
could-
one, man.
We can talk forever about music.
this
and about
this could have been
inspirations.
this could have been honestly this could have been a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like we were talking
Easily.
before this.
That's true.
So
Oh,
like
hell, that's true.
this is just like part of what we were already going through. So
Oh,
like
okay.
Jose,
Hey, you can edit it however way you want, and hey, it's all good.
it's well,
It's all good in the hood.
I'm gonna have to go through it, but I really appreciate you coming through, man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I'm open to come whenever you want, and we can do more music or record more music or discuss music or about anything in any particular era of music. I may not be the most knowledgeable person, but hey,
Well,
I'll try.
I'm definitely gonna have you back, man. Really appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks so much, man.
All right.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy these songs that Mario will be playing for you sometime soon in this podcast or in the future, whenever. Enjoy.
All right, Jose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Morning, and all it brings, dawn bird, guess what it sings? It's Friday, and in its wings, just maybe we'll hear it rings. Our lives living parallel lies, more than I could ever tell. Sunrise, I'll speak of you. Freedom is my certain truth. Some say, make no mistake, someday you'll see the change. Our lives living parallel lines, crossing, meeting, turning and seeing. Can't you tell? They were parallel, it's ringing bells. longer parallel. Now wake up, a song you hear, it's easy, but it isn't clear. And today, yes is on my lips, like that song that comes and you begin to sing, like our lives, living parallel, telling lines, no longer parallel.
And I am back. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's podcast, Desert Experiment. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. And, well, I just have one announcement. It's right here. It's a Fiesta on 5th, and that's this June 30th at 7 p.m. to midnight. And they're having the event there on 5th Street. Music and art and vendors and herb garden. So yeah, so go check it out. It's this Saturday, June 30th. So you guys enjoy your life.